Good morning, everyone. I, Jyotika Dudeja of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru College, will teach you about the topic groups and subgroups. In the last lecture, we have done the definition of a group. What is a group? Now we'll show what exactly is a group with the help of some examples. Let's start. The first example is set of all integers. We'll show this is a group or rather an abelian group with respect to our binary operation addition. So firstly, we'll prove the first property, that is closure property. Let's start. We know that sum of two integers is again an integer. So if we add a plus b, it will be in an integer set if a and b are in integers. So it satisfies the first property, that is closure property. So we write it as z is closed with respect to our binary operation addition. Next is associative law. So addition of integers obey if associative law, that is a plus b plus c is equals to a plus b plus c. That is, in the order in which we are adding the numbers doesn't matter. The sum of three integers will again be an integer, and it will be whichever order we have added those numbers, the answer will be the same. So it satisfies the associative property. Third is existence of identity. So, and we need to find a number such that if we add that number to any integer value, then it will give our integer value only. So 0 is the number which is in the set of integers, such that if we add 0 to any a, where a belongs to z, that is set of integers, then our result will be a. So for this set of integers with respect to addition, our identity will be 0, which exists in our group, that is z. Next property is existence of inverse. So we'll take any arbitrary number a and z, and we need to find a number, unique element rather, such that if we add that number to our element a, then it will give our additive identity, that is 0. So if we add minus a to the number a, then we get our identity 0. So inverse for any integral value will be the negative of that value, and it also belongs to our set of integers. Therefore, inverse for every element exists in the set of integers. And last but not the least, our property commutative law. Commutative law is satisfied in the set of integers, because if we add two numbers, in whichever order we add them, the result remains the same. So all the five properties are satisfied now. So our set of integers with respect to our binary operation addition forms an abelian group. And since we know that z, that is set of integers, has infinite number of elements, therefore z plus is an abelian group of infinite order. Next example, we need to show that the set of integers is not a group with respect to multiplication. Firstly, we have shown that it is a group with respect to addition, but now we'll show that it is not a group with respect to multiplication. So first property, closure property. Let's see whether it satisfies the closure property or not. If you multiply two integers, then obviously it is again an integer, so it satisfies my closure property. Next is associativity. In the set of integer, associativity is also satisfied, that is, in whichever order we multiply three integers, the result is same. So associative law is satisfied. Third property is existence of identity. We need to find such a number such that if we multiply the number with whichever element of our set, then the element of our set is the result. So such a number is 1, which belongs to our set of integers. We multiply 1 with any element of set of integers, then it gives our element a only. So 1 is the identity element for our set Z. Next is existence of inverse. So if we take any number a from b from the set of integers, then we need to find a number b such that if we multiply a and b, then it gives our identity element, that is 1. But if we multiply a with b, then it has to give our result as additive identity, which is 1. So we'll take an example. Let's take a as 5. If we multiply a by 1 by 5, then only it will give our result as 1. Otherwise, it won't be able to give it. But 1 by 5 is not an integers. It doesn't belong to the set of integers. Therefore, the inverse of an element doesn't belong to the set of integers. Therefore, existence of inverse is not satisfied. So, our set of integers is not a group with respect to multiplication. Let's see the third example. Third example is cube roots of unity forms an abelian group with respect to multiplication. First of all, we need to see what exactly is cube roots of unity. Cube roots of unity is basically our roots of the equation x cube is equals to 1. So it's a cubic equation. We need to find the roots of that equation. First root is 1, obviously 1 satisfies, 1 cube is 1. So the next two roots will be formed, or will be rather found with the equation x square plus x plus 1, which is found by dividing x minus 1 through the equation x cube minus 1. So we get our three roots, that is 1 minus 1 plus minus under root 3 iota by 2, and we write them as 1 omega omega square. So these three roots are cube roots of unity. Next, we have to show that these three elements form a set. Forming a set forms an abelian group. Let's start. For this, we'll use our composition table. We have already studied the composition table in our first lecture. Then let's start do it. We'll do the composition table. So for the composition table, we'll write the elements in the horizontal and vertical way and multiply them, and we'll use the property for such a composition table of our cube roots of unity. The first property is that w cube, or rather omega cube, is equals to 1. We'll use that property. If we have omega 4, so it can be written as omega cube into omega, and omega cube is 1, so it will come out to be omega, and so on. So using this property, we'll fill out our composition table as shown in the figure. Next, we'll see whether all the 4 properties, or rather 5 properties, are satisfied or not. So let's start with the first property, that is closure property. Closure property, we have already seen that all the elements in this composition table are from our set S, which is cube roots of unity. Therefore, it satisfies the closure property. Using the composition table, now we have already drawn the composition table. So all the properties will be seen whether they have satisfied the composition table properties or not. So first is already satisfied because all the elements that we have multiplied are coming out to be from the set S only. So first closure property is satisfied. Let's see rather all 3 properties. So the second property is associative property. We know that complex numbers always satisfies the associative property. Since 1 omega omega square are all complex number, they will always satisfy the associative property. So second property is satisfied. Next is existence of identity. Here we have 3 elements, 1 omega square, and here we'll treat 1 as the identity element, or rather 1 is the identity element for the set S, because if we multiply any number with 1, it gives the number only. So 1 is the identity. Fourth property is existence of inverse. We'll see in the composition table. For existence of inverse, we'll circle the identity element here, 1, 1 and 1. After circling the 1, that is identity element, we'll see the elements above that number and to the left side using those lines we have drawn. So for the first column, here 1 has 1 above it and 1 to the left of it. So 1 is the inverse of itself. For the second column, here is 1. So in the above, it has omega, and to the left side it is omega square. So the inverse of omega is omega square. This is shown by this. Next, third column, 1 is here. It has above omega square, and to the left side it has omega. So the inverse of omega square is omega. So through this we have shown that each element has inverse and they are coming out to be in the table or rather in the set only. So 1 is inverse of itself, omega has inverse as omega square, and omega square has inverse omega. So we have shown all the elements are having their inverses in the set only, so it satisfies the existence of inverse property. Last but not the least, our commutative property. What is commutative? Commutative, if we multiply any two numbers in whichever order the result is same. So for that property, we'll see again the composition table. We'll draw the diagonal here. Next, we'll see whether the elements in the anti-diagonal form are same or not, like this. Wait. Elements like, wait a minute. So we'll just draw this diagonal element and we'll see whether the elements here, since above the diagonal elements are same as the elements which are below the diagonal. So here we have shown that it satisfies all 4 properties or other 5 properties. So this set with respect to multiplication is an abelian group. So that's it for this lecture. We have shown 3 examples in which we have done whether the sets are abelian group or group or not. So through this we can done much more examples in the next lecture. I hope we'll see you. I'll try to solve more examples on the group. Thank you so much.